Howdy, Internet students. Mr. Hermanson here. This is Objective 6.1D Extra Practice, the distance formula. On the first one, we better get this straight. We want to pick the right formula, the distance formula. There it is. We're going to use that to find the distance between any two coordinates on a coordinate grid. Now, you might notice in here that you really have something squared plus something squared, which is Pythagorean's theorem, and then once you get that, you do the square root of that, which is how you find the side length, not the area. So it does come from Pythagorean's theorem, and I'll demonstrate that too on this first problem here. We want to find the length of segment AB here, so I'm just going to draw a line from A to B. I want to find that length. Now, one thing I could do instead of using the formula is I could just find those two distances there by counting. And what you'll notice is from the vertical distance from A to B right there is 3. So I'll just put 3 in there. And then the horizontal distance from A to B is 11. Okay, so I now have the two sides of the triangle. If I want, I can do just do 11 squared plus 3 squared, get that total, and then do the square root of that. Well, that's 121 plus 9 is 130, square root of 130. And then I can go on my calculator and approximate the square root of 130, which should be a little bit more than 11. So the square root of 130 about 11.4. So it's about 11.4. Now, the other way we can do that is we could get the coordinates of point A, which point A looks like it's at negative 5, 5. And point B is at 6, 2. And this distance down here, this 11, is actually the difference between the x-coordinates, the 6 and the negative 5. So I can get that 11 by doing 6 minus negative 5. So subtracting the x-coordinates, which is exactly what the distance formula is saying. Subtract the x-coordinates to get that. And then I'm going to, this distance going up here, this 3 right here, I can get, that's actually the difference between the y-coordinates, the 5 and the 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. Now, when I do the subtractions, I always subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. That way I don't have to worry about negatives. But if you did get a negative, just remember a negative times a negative. When you square a negative, you get a positive. So, anyway, this is 11. This is 3. And so you can also use the formula to find those answers. All right. In the third part here, we want to find the distance between the points. Actually, it says points P and Q. Let's just scratch that out. Find the distance between the points. So on this first one, we're going to do from A to B, that distance. That would be this line from here to here. Now, it's pretty hard to draw in the triangle this time and know what those distances are. So let's just use the formula. So we're going to find the difference between the x's. So I'm going to do 12 minus negative 15 squared, and then I'm going to find the difference between the y's, the 30 and the 34. I'm going to do 34 minus 30. Do the biggest number first. That way you end up with a positive. Okay, and then I need to do the square root of all that. Well, 12 minus negative 15 is 27 squared, plus 34 minus 30 is 4 squared. Now I'm going to use my calculator to do the rest. We need to do the square root of 27 squared plus 4 squared. Let's just do that all at once. 27 squared plus 4 squared. And we get about 27.3. So the distance from A to B is about 27.3. All right? And then the last problems, we could actually use a distance formula for these problems. We just have to think of what it's saying as coordinates. I'll do this one with you. It says Norm walks home from school by walking 4 blocks north. I'm just going to set this up. North would be this way on a coordinate grid. And then 5 blocks east. East would be this way. South would be this way. West would be this way. So if Norm, let's say the school is right in the middle. If Norm goes 4 blocks north, like that, and then 5 blocks east, he's going to be at this point right here. That is 5, 4. X is 5, Y is 4. Now, if Henry leaves school, so starts here and walks 3 blocks east, that'd be this way 3, and then he goes 6 blocks south. He's going to end up at this point right here at 3, negative 6. Okay, so now I can use the distance formula to help me figure that out. The difference between the x-coordinates, the 5 and the 3, is 2. And the difference between the y-coordinates, the 4 and the negative 6, is 10. And so I get 2 squared plus 10 squared, and then the square root of that. And that's the square root of 4 plus 100 is 104. And then you can go ahead and do that on your calculator, but it's a little over 10. The square root of 104 about 10.2 is the distance between those. All right, go ahead and finish that up, and you should be good to do that retake.